Hello, welcome to another informative episode on White Davy Gardening and Worm Farm. Today I'm going to be giving you an update on my indoor garden. This was started 2 months ago, and as you can see, it is not doing too well. My scallion is dying. Most of them have died. And so I got a few more plants from outside that I am going to be putting in here. My sage is not doing well. As you can see, that is all that is left. Everything else have died. It's a bit cold here by the window, but at the same time the heat vent is directly below this shelf. So this is still the warmest spot for it. My lavender is not doing too well. I went through and did a bit of pruning. I guess I can still do a bit more pruning on that. My thyme also is not doing well. I went through and did a bit of pruning on it as well. My sweet onion that is on the windowsill is definitely not doing well. So I'm not sure what the story is with this, because this sweet onion here, and both of them were planted at the same time, and this one is doing very well. So I don't know if it is because this one is closer to the window. This is my lettuce that I started a few weeks ago. It's spiny, and the true leaves that are growing are very spiny as well, so they are not doing well. I might have to relocate them away from so close to the window. And here is my comfrey. It too is not doing very well if you look at the leaf, but at the same time it is not dying. It's very delicate, so the leaves break easily, as you can see there. And I sent one of these plants to my sister, so I only have one left. Over here, my aloe vera is doing well. I sent one of the seedling to her, and I still have 4 of them coming up. My sweet potato that I have in water, they are not doing anything. The one that I have in soil is growing pretty well. And here, my parsley is not doing well either. I pruned it, and as you can see, even the young part of the plant that is coming up, even that part is drying out. All of these, all the dried leaves and stuff like that were pruned off 2 days ago, and all this damage that you see here occurred in the last 2 days. So my indoor garden is not doing too well. You may notice that I have a big open area here because I have a container with thyme here, British thyme, and then I had another long one there with another thyme in it, and I am in the process of repotting it. These are the plates that I keep my pots on. So I'm repotting the thyme. I'm going to be repotting pretty much everything that is not doing well that can be repotted. I'm cutting back those that can be cut back so that they can regrow. Now in here I have my ginger that I planted, I think that was May or June, but when the frost occurred in August, the plants died. So I see that they're trying to resprout now, but they're not doing so well, so I'm going to be repotting those as well. The lavender, I'm not sure just yet. I know that lavender tend to go semi-dormant during the growing season. This plant I've had for 3 years, and I always keep it on my windowsill downstairs, and it pretty much looks somewhat like this during the winter. But the plant was bigger when I brought it indoors this time around, so I wasn't expecting it to be looking this droopy based on the amount that was in there. But anyway, we'll see what happened with them. So I'm going to go and finish repotting my time. As you know, I am growing these things in my spare bedroom, so I don't really have a lot of space, and I don't want to take these plants anywhere else to do this, so I'm just working in the tiny space that I've got here. My thyme, this was planted many months ago in this container. When I say many months, probably May, June, so it is root bound. So I'm going to be taking off some of the root. And this soil is not the best. It needs a little bit more organic matter in it. And the extra root that I take off here, I'm going to be putting in my indoor worm bin. I'm not going to be leaving a lot of root on it. I will certainly have a lot of cleanup to do when I'm finished here. Okay, so this is the thyme that I had in this container. So I'm going to be planting it in here. So in this container here, I have a mixture of the soil that I just took the thyme out of, combined with some finished compost. And that might not be enough. I've got some more material outside. My seedling material that I mixed a month or so ago, but I don't want to have to go back outside for that. So I'm just going to remix this material here. Okay, there, so I've got that one replanted. So now I need to transplant my British thyme. I'm not looking forward to cleaning up after I'm finished, but I've been doing a lot of planting in here, or at least preparing all my seeds and stuff like that in here, and I haven't had the time to clean up. So now that I'm doing this, I am forced to get this place cleaned up as quickly as possible. Well, I think I have the same situation with these thyme, the British thyme, as I do with the ones that I just planted, where they were root bound as well. So I'm going to be taking a bit of the root off. My worms will enjoy snacking on this bit of organic matter. I should be using a scissors to cut these. Okay, so this is my British thyme. And I'm gonna put some more soil in there first. The soil is very dry, just a little bit of moisture in there, so I'm going to have to thoroughly water them. So this is my British thyme and this is my regular thyme. Not sure what variety this is because I bought it at the store. I bought the plant at the store, and this one I grew from seeds. I don't particularly like this variety. It's too viney. I rather this one. Okay, now Let me show. So this container here is a new pot that I have. I just sowed some pot joy seeds in here, so I need to water these and then put them back on the shelf. Most of my plants do not require water at this time because I watered them on Monday. So I am transferring my ginger from this deep, narrow container, and I am putting it in this shallow, wider container because, as you know, ginger is a rhizome, which means that it grows sideways rather than growing down. I'm trying to ascertain the direction that the buds are growing so I can turn it in that position. And you don't bury it deep either. Okay, so that is it for my ginger. I'm going to see what becomes of it. I am not sure what to do with the soil that the ginger was in because as a rule you don't plant ginger with anything else unless it is a member of the ginger family, because whatever you plant with ginger will not grow unless they're of the same family. Now I'm going to be mixing this soil with some of the soil that I have in the thyme container. I still have a lot of the root from the thyme in here, so I'm just taking it out. lot of cleanup to do. Not looking forward to that at all. This material here that the ginger was growing in has quite a few worms in it, worms that I didn't put in it, but the worms went in there while this container was in the garden outside. So I'm just going to put this back into the time container. Because I want to use it to grow some microgreens, or at least to attempt to grow microgreens indoors. I'm dreading the idea of having this place to clean up. I think I figured out one of the reasons why the ginger was not doing well while it was in here, because after the frost it would have started regrowing, but after I brought it inside, the pot was resting directly on the bottom of the catchment tray. So what was happening is that it was too moist, so the ginger wasn't able to grow. Ginger does love watery soil, but like everything else in life, and there are times when things can be too much. So in this case I had too much water, because I can smell that the soil that the ginger was in was going rancid, and that's when you know you definitely have too much moisture. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix this in. I don't need to wet the soil beneath, because the little bit of soil that I added to it is so wet that it is moistening the dry soil. So I'm going to wait a few days before I start my microgreens in here. I might have to add a bit more soil to this as well. So I will have to get my potting mix from the garage. In order to do so. Okay, so now I had a few pieces of stones obviously were in this time tray, so now I'm just putting them in the bottom of the catchment tray so that I can rest the time on them, so that the thyme can be elevated out of the moisture to an extent. Now I'm going to be putting everything back. Okay, so I planted the escallion that I brought in from outside, and I pruned the rest. So the darker green ones are the ones that I just planted, and the light green ones are the ones that were there before. And I repotted the thyme, and in there I repotted my ginger. Hopefully it will start to grow now because it has less moisture, which was affecting its growth. And I haven't done anything to the lavender yet. Here I have pak choi seeds that I just sowed. Repotted that thyme. Haven't done anything to this parsley just yet. Haven't done anything to the comfrey just yet either. Gradually I'm going to be working on them to see if I can get them to do better. I did, however, switch the location of the lettuce and this sweet onion, so I will see how the sweet onion perform now that it isn't up against the other one, which is doing well. I'm going to have to do something with this, what is it called, it's not ginger, with this turmeric, to see if I can get it to grow further. The leaf is a bit yellow, so it might be in need of some more nutrients, so I'm going to have to get some castings and put around it. And this is my update for now. If you find this video informative, if you enjoy this video, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and turn on your notification for more updates like these. Thank you for watching, and have yourself a wonderful day.